Welcome to the ThinkorSwim tutorial series. Today we're going to cover how to create advanced orders like Oco Brackets in ThinkorSwim, as well as how to save our own advanced order templates for quick use in the future. Now in ThinkorSwim there are several different ways you can create advanced orders, but in this video we're just going to touch on a couple of those. Now the entire purpose behind advanced orders is really to simplify your life a little bit, to take some of that stress of you having to watch your computer all day long and put that in the hands of this pre-made template. Now, probably the most common of those being the Oco Bracket, or the one cancels the other. That would be if you already hold a position and you're saying, hey, if it goes up in value, I'd like to sell it for a profit, but also if it goes down, I want to stop myself from losing any more money. So that'd be a one cancels the other. If one of those two orders fills, it cancels the other order automatically. Now, to create that one cancels the other order on a position we already hold, it's actually pretty easy. We're going to be on the monitor page like we're on right now, and we can see all the positions we currently hold. So in this case, we've got Apple. We bought it at 117. It's currently 132. And let's say if Apple goes up to 140, we want to sell it. But also if it goes down to 120, we want to stop ourselves out. So that'll be a one cancels the other. And the way we create that is just by right-clicking on the symbol, going to create a closing order, and with an Oco bracket. And from there, we can see the two orders pop up at the bottom of our screen. Both are trying to sell 100 shares of Apple. And the first one being a limit order, second one being a stop. And remember, we said we wanted to sell it if it went up to 140, but also stop ourselves out if it went down to 120. And we're going to change this time in force to good till canceled. And there we go. So there's a one cancels the other order. Both are trying to sell our 100 shares first if it goes up to 140. Hopefully that one fills and we take a profit. But also if it goes down to 120, we're going to stop ourselves out from losing any more money. And this order is going to work indefinitely because it is good until canceled. And we're going to go ahead and hit confirm and send this in our paper money account. Now when we go back to the monitor page, we can actually see that order working there, and we can see a little bracket here on the left hand side, which is really telling us these two orders are linked together. If one of them fills, it'll cancel the other order out there. The whole purpose of that being that both of these orders cannot fill, otherwise it would put you into a short position on Apple, which we don't want to happen. Now, that was how to create an Oco bracket on a position we already hold. So let's go ahead and do it on something we don't currently hold in the account. In this example, we'll go over to Microsoft in this case. Pulling up Microsoft, and we're going to right-click anywhere on that stock price line and go ahead and go to Buy Custom with an Oco bracket. Now, the main difference with this one is this first order is going to trigger the Oco bracket. So the opening order of buying 100 shares of Microsoft is actually what's going to trigger the two orders to sell it. And again, just like before, one hopefully for a profit, and one also to stop ourselves out if it goes down too low. So again, we're going to go through this one more time, but this one again is the first triggers. So let's say we wanted to buy 100 shares of Microsoft if it went down to 220, and we want to sell that if it went back up to 230 for a profit, or stop ourselves out if it went down to 210. And just like before, we're going to change these all to good till canceled because we don't care when it happens. And now we've got the first triggers Oco, and again, just like before, the first order to buy 100 shares of Microsoft at 220. If that order fills, it's going to trigger the order to sell 100 shares at 230 for a profit, or stop ourselves out at 210 if it goes down. And remember, if either one of those sell orders fills, it cancels the other order, because just like I mentioned before, we don't want to go short when we didn't intend to go short. So we'll go ahead and send that order out there, confirm and send it. And to view this trade, we're going to go over to the monitor page and look under the working order section. And there we can see that this first order is the key to these bracketed orders. And again, we can kind of tell very quickly that these orders are linked to one another. And let's say we wanted to cancel them. It's actually very easy. All we have to do is right-click on it, cancel order, and it cancels the entire bracket. Same thing for the Apple trade. We'll go ahead and right-click on it and say cancel Oco group. And now both of those trades are completely canceled. Now I'm going to show you how to create that exact same order in just a slightly different way. So we're going to go back up to the trade tab. We've still got Microsoft pulled up there. We're going to go ahead and say we want to buy 100 shares of Microsoft just like before. And we want to buy it if it ever goes down to 220. So we're going to type that in there, 220. Now we want to change this down here in the lower left-hand corner where it says advanced order. We want to change that to first triggers Oco just like before. We're going to right-click on the order ticket anywhere on that green line, and you're going to say create opposite order. And we're going to do it one more time because remember, we need that stop as well. So now we've got that opening trade, which is going to trigger those two selling orders. Now we've got the limit order down here at 220. We want to change that up to 240. And the stop, we want to make 210. So we're going to go ahead and type in 210 here and adjust this to a stop. And we're going to go ahead and change those time and forces to good till canceled as well. And there we go. We've got that exact same order that we had before. We just created it in a slightly different way. Same exact thing is going to happen. We're still saying if Microsoft goes down to 220, we want to buy 100 shares. And if it goes up to 240, we want to sell it for profit. But also if it goes down to 210, we want to stop ourselves out. And just like before, if either one of those sell orders fills, it'll cancel the other order. Now, the reason I wanted to show you this method is the other types of orders you can create with this advanced orders button. Now, you've got single order, which is just the single order to buy shares or buy options. You've got blast all, which will send out all orders simultaneously, all of which will fill independent of one another. You've got first trigger sequence, which would mean the first order triggers the second order, which triggers the third order, etc. You've got first triggers all, which means the first order is going to trigger all the other orders behind it to go out there, all of which can fill independent of one another, which is why you wouldn't want to use it on something like this. Because if you use first triggers all in this case, remember your first order for Microsoft would trigger the other two orders to go out there, both of which could fill, which means you might go short 100 shares of Microsoft at some point in the future. Now, we've already talked enough about first triggers OCO, so we'll skip over that, and we'll talk about first triggers 2 OCOs and first triggers 3 OCOs. Now, the times you may want to use that is when you have a different profit target on your shares. So again, we're buying 100 shares of Microsoft, but let's say we wanted to sell 50 of those shares when it went up to 250, and 50 of those shares when it went up to 240. So we've got two different profit targets on our 100 shares of Microsoft. So that would be first triggers 2 OCOs. A time when you might use first triggers 3 OCOs is when you've got 3 different profit targets. So again, we bought 100 shares of Microsoft and we say, hey, if it goes up to 230, we want to sell 50 shares. But if it goes up to 240, we want to sell 25 of those shares. If it goes up to 260, we want to sell the remaining 25 shares. So that would be first triggers 3 OCOs because you've got 3 different profit targets. Now you could keep all the same stop activation prices or they could be different just like the limit prices, but that's up to you. Now we'll go ahead and leave this one on first triggers OCO just like the previous order, and we'll go ahead and hit confirm and send, and we'll send it. Now when we go back to the monitor page, you'll notice that this looks identical to the previous trade we made. Now just like before, we'll go ahead and right click on it to cancel it and say cancel order. Next, I want to show you guys how to create your own order templates. So far we've been using ThinkorSwim's, which has been fine, but we want to create our own to make it quicker and faster for us to place trades going forward. So let's go back over to the trade tab. We're going to right click on the stock price for Microsoft, and we're going to go to buy custom, and we're going to use one of their pre-made templates with an OCO bracket, which is completely fine. We've got an order to buy 100 shares of Microsoft at 233. If it fills, the limit price is going to go in $1 above, and the stop is going in $1 below wherever we fill. But let's say we wanted to change that a little bit. Whenever we trade stock, we want to put out an order to sell it $5 above wherever we fill, and stop us out $5 below wherever we fill. So we can tinker with this a little bit. We'll click on this little linking button for both. And we're going to change this to +5. And we're going to change this to -5. And just like before, we'll change this to good till canceled. And let's say we also wanted to adjust the share quantity. Normally we don't buy 100 shares, we only buy 50 at a time. So let's go ahead and adjust that on all 3. All right, so now we've got order to buy 50 shares of Microsoft at 233. Whenever that fills, it's going to put out an order of $5 above where we fill, so sell it at a profit, or stop us out $5 below wherever we fill. And they're all good until canceled. Now to save this, we're going to click on the little floppy disk down here where it says Save Custom Order Template. And we're going to go ahead and save it as something we can remember it by. In this case, we'll just name it OCO1. We'll go ahead and hit save, and we'll go ahead and delete it. Now let's pull up a different stock. Let's go to Micron for a second. And we'll right click on it just like before, and we go to buy custom. And now we can see that template that we created, OCO1. Now when we click on that, it's going to create that template to buy 50 shares of the stock. And remember, just like before, it's putting out a limit order $5 above wherever we filled, and a stop order $5 below wherever we fill. So again, you can make your own templates. You can make as many as you'd like with different profit targets, maybe different profit targets for different numbers of shares, like we talked about the first triggers 2 OCOs or first triggers 3 OCOs. but this could definitely be something that helps you out going forward, makes your trading a little bit quicker. I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the video there. I hope this helped a few of you out there learn how to create advance orders and specifically OCO brackets, but please subscribe to the channel if this helped you out at all, and check out the rest of our ThinkorSwim tutorial series if you'd like to get yourself more familiar with the platform. Catch you on the next one.